Summer 2012. 2 girls went missing in the Appalachian Mountains. No bodies, no blood trail, just one muddy phone. Still recording, detectives said the audio was too disturbing to release, but I heard a piece of it, and I still regret it because the last words weren't screams. They were a warning. Don't stop running, even if you hear her voice. Because the voice that called her name wasn't her friend. I woke up face down on wet soil, my cheek pressed into freezing mud. Above me, the sky looked unreal. Bright stars like needles stuck into black velvet. For a second, it felt peaceful. Then my body remembered first. My legs trembled. My throat burned. My heart was still sprinting. I pushed myself up and tasted blood. A cut on my forehead had dried into a crusty line. I tried standing, and the world tilted hard. Something had hit me, or someone had. I forced myself to breathe quietly, like the air itself could betray me. I scanned the trees, waiting to see Lori's shadow step out. But the forest was empty, too empty. No insects, no wind, just that heavy silence, like the mountains were holding their breath. I wanted to call her name, but my mouth refused, because the last time I shouted, it answered back, not Lori, something deeper, and it sounded like it was smiling. I stayed low between 2 fallen logs, using them like a coffin with the lid missing. I told myself to wait for morning. If I ran in the dark, I'd get lost. Or worse, I'd be found, my fingers dug into the dirt, nails packed with cold mud. That's when the memories started leaking back in pieces. It began with a simple plan. 2 best friends escaping the city noise. We wanted quiet, trees, and a lake, but the mountains didn't give us silence. They gave us a listener. We asked friends for a hidden camping spot somewhere far from crowds. They mentioned an old lake deep inside the Appalachian backroads. Barely anyone goes there, they said. We took that as a blessing. Now I know it was a warning wrapped in excitement. The drive was long, and the road got worse the deeper we went. Dust coated our windows. The path narrowed like it was trying to squeeze us out. Even Lori stopped making jokes. She kept checking the rearview mirror like she expected headlights behind us, but nothing followed. That was the scariest part. No cars, no people, no signs, just trees leaning close like they were watching us pass. When we finally reached the lake, the sunlight was still up. The water looked calm, almost too calm, like glass pretending to be safe. We stepped out, and the air smelled sharp, like wet stone and old leaves. Lori whispered, "Maybe we should go back, somewhere with other campers." I laughed it off. I told her we were overthinking. We set up the tent near the edge, close enough to hear the water. And when night came, we realized the lake wasn't making any sound at all, not even a single ripple, like something was holding it still. Morning finally arrived, but it didn't feel like safety. It felt like the forest was just changing shifts. Warm sunlight touched my face, yet my skin stayed cold. I pushed myself up between the fallen logs and listened. No birds, no insects, just silence so thick it felt like pressure on my ears. I wiped my forehead, and my fingers came back sticky with dried blood. I stood carefully, waiting for dizziness. This time, my body obeyed, but the quiet wasn't peace. It was a trap. I turned in a slow circle, searching for any sign of Lori. Footprints, broken branches, anything, but the ground was littered with dead wood and needles hiding every clue. The pine trees stood close together like prison bars. I couldn't see 10 feet ahead. I didn't even know which direction the lake was. My stomach twisted with a sick thought. What if I was walking away from help and straight back toward him? The man wasn't hunting randomly. He knew the way. I chose the easiest path, stepping where the earth looked softer, quieter. Every snap of a twig felt like a gunshot. I kept my breathing shallow, like the forest could hear it. As I stumbled forward, my mind dragged me back to the first night, the moment everything turned wrong. We had been in the tent, laughing, whispering, talking about stupid city drama. Then the conversation paused, and in that tiny pause, we heard it. Footsteps, slow, heavy, human, and they stopped right outside our tent. At first, we thought it might be an animal circling, but animals don't walk with that rhythm. 2 legs, 1 step, then another. Deliberate. Lori squeezed my arm so hard it hurt. We didn't speak. We didn't even blink. The footsteps came closer until they were right there. Then nothing moved, only breathing. Deep, rough, wet breathing, like lungs full of smoke and old anger. It sounded like someone smiling through rotten teeth. And then he whispered my name from outside the tent. I swear I heard it. Soft, calm, familiar, not Lori's voice, not mine. Like someone had practiced saying it for years, my entire body went numb. Lori covered her mouth, tears shining in her eyes. We waited for the zipper to move. We waited for the tent to collapse inward, but it didn't. Minutes passed, and the breathing stayed steady, patient, like he had all the time in the world. Then, without warning, the footsteps turned away, slowly, 1 step, then another, fading into the trees. We didn't move for the rest of the night. We didn't sleep. We just held each other and listened to the darkness. At first light, we promised we'd pack and leave immediately. No breakfast, no pictures, no 1 more minute. Just run. The sunrise felt like a miracle. Golden light spilled onto the tent walls. Birds still didn't sing, but we took the light as permission to escape. Lori unzipped the tent and stepped out first. Her foot touched the ground, and something grabbed her like she weighed nothing. She flew forward, landing hard, her body twisting in the dirt. I screamed her name, and that's when I saw him. He wasn't wearing clothes. He was wearing people. He stood there, tall and still, like a tree that learned how to breathe. His face was blank. No anger, no excitement, no rush, just empty hunger. His arms looked wrong, too thick, too rough, covered in dark hair and scars. I tried to crawl backward deeper into the tent. He reached inside like he was grabbing laundry off a line. I kicked, punched, scratched, anything, but it felt like fighting a wall. And when his fingers wrapped around my ankle, I knew we were never supposed to leave that lake, because the lake didn't bring campers. It collected them. He grabbed me like I was nothing. 1 second I was inside the tent. The next I was flying through the air. My back slammed into the dirt so hard my lungs forgot how to breathe. I saw Lori on the ground, trying to move, trying to crawl away. He stepped toward her without rushing. Then his fist came down, fast and brutal. The sound wasn't a punch. It was a wet crack, like hitting raw meat on wood. Lori's body went still. And the worst part? He didn't look angry. He looked calm. I tried to scream, but my throat only made a broken sound. He turned to me and knelt down, his shadow swallowing my face. Rough rope scraped my skin as he pulled my wrists behind my back, then my ankles. Tight. Too tight. My fingers went cold within seconds, like my blood was being shut off. I twisted, kicked, begged. None of it mattered. When he stood up, he lifted Lori like a hunter carrying a deer. Her head hung at an impossible angle, That's when I realized. He wasn't taking her away, he was claiming her. I lay there, bound and helpless, staring at the empty tree line. Minutes passed, then an hour. No cars, no voices, no help. That dirt road we drove on felt like it belonged to another life. I fought the knots until my wrists burned, but the rope didn't move. My hands started to go numb, like they weren't even mine anymore. Then the trees shifted. Footsteps returned, slow, heavy, patient. He was back, and this time he came for me. He grabbed my arms and lifted me off the ground like a sack. My face hung downward behind him, so I couldn't see where we were going, only dirt sliding past, roots, stones, dead leaves. I tried to memorize the path by smell, wet moss, old pine, something sour. After what felt like forever, the air changed. Open space. He dropped me into a clearing, and pain shot through my ribs. I forced myself to stay still. That's when I saw it, a shack, old, crooked, and breathing like it was alive. Then I heard Laurie whisper my name. From behind me, my blood turned to ice. I couldn't turn my head properly, but I heard her clear as day, soft, weak, close. Jamie. I swallowed hard and whispered back, Laurie, are you alive? A pause. Then she answered, I'm here, but I can't move right. Her voice sounded wrong, like she was speaking through pain or through something else. I tried shifting without making noise, desperate to see her, but the ropes cut deeper every time I moved. My hands were almost completely numb now. I couldn't feel my fingertips. The clearing was surrounded by thick trees like a wall. No trail, no road. Just the shack, the dirt, and the smell of old smoke. Hours dragged by. The sun sank, and the shadows stretched long across the ground. I kept listening for him, but the forest stayed quiet. Too quiet. Even Laurie stopped whispering after a while. Then, just as darkness began to settle, we heard it. Something moving in the woods. Crunch, crunch, slow steps getting closer. It stopped a few feet away, and that breathing returned, that same raspy smoker's breathing, wet and heavy, standing there, watching us, not rushing, not panicking, like he enjoyed waiting. And when he finally walked past, he was barefoot, no shoes, no socks, just dirty feet stepping over sharp rocks like they were soft grass. His hair hung in messy ropes down his shoulders. His clothes were torn, stained, and smelled like something rotting in the sun. He didn't look like a normal man lost in the woods. He looked like the woods had made him. He stepped into the shack and shut the door behind him. The lock clicked once, then silence. But I could still feel him inside, like a spider in a box, because the shack wasn't just a shelter, it was a cage. Night came fully, and the cold crawled into my bones. I lay on the dirt with my cheek half buried, shivering so hard my teeth hurt. Somewhere behind me, Laurie kept crying softly. We didn't dare speak louder. Every time I swallowed, I thought he'd hear it. Every time I blinked, I expected the door to open, but it didn't, not once. Morning arrived like a mercy. I thought I'd freeze to death before sunrise. Then the shack door creaked open, and his shadow stretched across the clearing again. He walked straight to Laurie, like she was already his. He bent down, grabbed her under the arms, and lifted her effortlessly. Laurie let out a weak sound, half cry, half choke. He carried her into the shack. The door stayed open for a second, just long enough for me to see inside. Not furniture, not food, not supplies, just dark walls. And something hanging from the ceiling that swayed slowly. Then the door shut, and I was left outside, tied up, listening to Lori's muffled sobs, turning into something else, a sound that didn't feel human anymore. He carried Lori inside like she was already gone. No struggle, no screaming, just limp silence, like her body had accepted the impossible. Before the shack door closed, he looked back at me, and that look, it wasn't anger, it was ownership, like I was next on his list and he wanted me to understand it. Then Lori screamed, not a normal scream, a scream that sounded like the inside of her soul tearing open. And the scream didn't stop until it suddenly did. It dragged on until it became something wet and broken. Then it turned into choking, gurgling sounds, and then nothing. Silence slammed into the clearing so hard my ears rang. Tears ran down my face, mixing with dirt and dried blood. My hands were numb, my legs dead weight. The ropes had stolen my body from me. I couldn't even curl my fingers anymore. I whispered to myself, "This is where I die." And I think my brain shut off to protect me, because the next thing I remember shouldn't be possible. I woke up to someone standing over me. For a second, I thought it was him. Then I saw her face, Lori, but not the Lori I knew. Her skin looked pale and gray, like candle wax. Her eyes were open but empty, like she was staring through me, and blood was dripping onto my chest, steady, warm, endless. I looked down, and my stomach flipped. Her right arm was gone, not torn, not broken, gone, clean at the shoulder like it had been cut on purpose. Yet she wasn't screaming. She wasn't even shaking. With her left hand, she started working the ropes on my wrists, slowly, clumsily, like her brain was moving through fog. It took forever, but the knots finally loosened. The moment my hands came free, pain exploded through them like fire. I rubbed my fingers together, forcing blood back in. Pins and needles stabbed my palms. Lori moved to my ankles, pulling at the rope with one hand, slipping again and again. We didn't speak, not because we didn't want to, because speaking felt like it would summon him. Then I realized the shack was quiet again. Too quiet. Where was he? Inside? Behind us? Watching from the trees? My heartbeat started pounding in my skull. I leaned down to help Lori with the last knot, my hands shaking. Finally, my legs came free, but they didn't feel like legs. They felt like wood strapped to my body. I tried to stand and almost collapsed. I grabbed a nearby tree and forced myself upright. Lori sat on the ground, still staring forward, blood dripping from her shoulder stump like a leaking faucet. I wanted to scream, to cry, to hold her, but my survival brain only screamed one word: run. I grabbed her left arm gently and whispered, "Stand up, please." She didn't react at first. Then, like a puppet remembering its strings, she rose slowly. We started moving away from the shack, not fast, barely walking. Each step sounded loud on the forest floor. We hadn't gone far when the trees opened into a round clearing, a perfect circle of pines, like a ritual space. I stepped forward, and my stomach dropped through the ground. In the center were bodies, too many to count, scattered like trash, and above them, skin stretched and hanging from ropes, drying like hunting trophies, not animal fur, human, and one of those skins had Lori's tattoo. My eyes locked onto it without permission, a small butterfly inked near the shoulder. Her butterfly. I felt my throat close. My knees buckled. Lori didn't even look up. It was like she already knew what she'd find. Then we heard a sound from behind us. Wood creaking, a door opening, the shack. He was back. I grabbed Lori's arm tighter and whispered, "Move, now!" The forest floor betrayed us with every step. Dry leaves cracked under our feet like chips. Crunch, crunch, crunch. It felt like we were announcing our location. We tried stepping on dirt patches, on moss, on roots, anything quieter. But our bodies were weak. Lori's breathing was shallow. Her blood trail was real. I kept thinking, as insane as it sounded, how is she still alive? Then I understood. That stump wasn't bleeding freely. It looked burned shut, sealed like someone had stopped the bleeding on purpose. He didn't save her. He preserved her. Behind us, the leaves started crunching faster, heavy footsteps closing the distance, not walking, charging. I turned my head and saw movement between trees, a dark shape weaving through trunks like it belonged there. I wrapped my arm around Lori, trying to drag her faster, but her legs wouldn't cooperate. She stumbled, almost fell, then froze. I hissed, "Lori, please, he's coming." And that's when she finally spoke. Her voice was calm, too calm. She looked at me and said, "Go, Jamie." Then she smiled, and it wasn't her smile. It was small, barely there, but it was wrong. Like her face forgot how to be human. She repeated it, soft and certain. "Go, get out." I shook my head, tears burning my eyes. "I'm not leaving you." But the crunching behind us got louder, closer, fast. My body made the decision before my heart could, because if I stayed, we both died. I backed away from her, choking on my own breath. Lori sat down on a fallen log like she was waiting for a bus. She didn't look scared. She didn't look angry. She looked finished. I turned and ran. Branches slapped my face. Roots grabbed my ankles. The forest blurred into a tunnel of green and black. I didn't know where I was going. I just ran until my lungs tore. And behind me, I heard Lori scream again. But this time, it wasn't pain. It was a signal, a call, a perfect loud beacon that would guide him straight to her. Then, I heard something worse. A second set of footsteps, not his, lighter, faster, following me. And Lori's voice echoed through the trees one last time. "Run, Jamie. He likes you more." Because I wasn't escaping. I was